Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to combine objects to make new objects. Someone asked for, how do I put a rag in a bottle and make a Molotov cocktail? This is a very clever kind of puzzle, or these are good puzzles. You have to put the wooden stick together with the suction cup to form a plunger, or I don't know. In this case, it's going to be the fuse and the red cylinder together to form a stick of dynamite. So you're just limited purely by your imagination. I would say do not add more than three pieces to, or more than two pieces to any object, because it gets very tricky trying to manage what order the player is trying to put things together in, and what do you call the intermediate objects as this thing gets constructed over multiple moves. I would say just put two objects together to form a third. That's a great way of doing that. A great type of puzzle. So what I have here is I have a red cylinder and a black cord. We're going to put the two of those things together. These are both in the player's inventory, and we're going to put those together to make dynamite. The dynamite object is off screen, and what's going to happen is I'm going to detect when I've put the two together, and then I'm going to move these guys off screen and move the dynamite into the player's inventory. I also have an elephant that I'm carrying around just for demonstration purposes, and you'll see why in a second. So let's look at some functions that I've written. I've written one called invalid put, and I'm going to call this when anytime I try to put something into the red cylinder. That's because when the system tries to match the sentences, it tries to find specific cases first. If it can find a specific match or an exact match, it'll do that. If it can't, it tries to find a generic match. So if I try to put any, I don't want to have to, if I have 1,000 or 100 objects in my game, I don't want to have to say, if I try to put each one of those 100 objects in the red cylinder, say it doesn't fit. I just want to be able to say, if I try to put anything in the red cylinder, say it doesn't fit. Then I'm going to create another function here. It's called insert fuse, and this is going to be specifically when I put the black cord in the red cylinder. So this is where I print, like, the fuse snaps neatly into the dynamite, right? So I've just printed out a message. I move the black cord off screen, I move the red cylinder off screen, and now I move the dynamite into the player's inventory. So to the player, it's just seamless. As I put these two things together and they magically became dynamite, we're actually doing that by having three separate objects and switching them out, right? It's just a little bit of sleight of hand. Now let's go look at our sentences. Here are those sentences. If put star in red cylinder, star means anything. That's just a common kind of, everybody in computers knows that. That's just a common, that's a common convention. Star means, it's called a wild card. It means anything. Put anything in the red cylinder, call the invalid put function. If I specifically put the black cord in the red cylinder, call the insert fuse function, right? So I've got these two things working together. Let's just test it out and see if it works. So if I go to launch player here, type I, I'm carrying a red cylinder, black cord, and an elephant. If I try to put the elephant in the red cylinder, it says it doesn't fit, right? So that's because it couldn't find an exact match, so it found this generic match, the put anything in the red cylinder. It couldn't specifically find put elephant in red cylinder. Now let's try it again. Now if I say put, was it the black in red? Put the black cord in the red cylinder. I mean, it would understand put black cord in put black cord in red cylinder. It should understand that. The fuse snaps neatly into the dynamite. It would have understood put black in red, right? Because it understands black is associated with the cord, and red is associated with the red cylinder. The fuse snaps neatly into the dynamite. And now if I type I, see, I'm carrying dynamite. So, so there I am. I'm good to go. I've now put those two objects, the fuse and the red cylinder, together to make dynamite. And then also just like one other little thing here. In case the player tries to light the fuse, well, we've got a little bit of an issue now. I made fuse a synonym for dynamite because the player might try to light the dynamite. That would work. They might try to light the fuse too, but we don't really have a separate fuse object. So we're just going to say fuse and dynamite are now synonyms. And then that would work. So there you go. That's how you can combine two objects into one object. And then this project will be out there on the shared drive. with all the other examples. And if you have any questions about how to set that up, by all means, just ask.